Good morning and slightly in the afternoon. Judy Allen here, San Antonio, Texas, and oh boy, is it a fun day today. Yes, we are coming out with right silly old bear suite the 1st of May, and we're also going to be doing a camp along, right? It's not exactly called camp along, but anyway, it's a stamp along, right? So I'm partnering up with another demonstrator, so we'll be bringing you some exciting new things. 12 projects total, so you'll have to look at the newsletter or stay tuned to see what all's involved. All right, something will be coming out about it soon. So that though, I just want to start you off and show you what we got going on here, right? Because if you're like us, right, Pooh Bear is sort of a nostalgic, and him and the friends are all nostalgic, right, in our family, for their children when we're younger. I know in our house, you just saw a glimpse right there, but there's other stuff like a scavenger hunt throughout the house that I didn't even bother to pull out. I just grabbed a couple things I could grab right off the bat. So let's get started. We're going to actually make 3 cards today, but I'm going to actually show you what we got going on here, all right? Because it is exciting. So yes, we've been fans for a while. I'm not going to show that picture completely. Some of us have picked out who our faves are, and others, it just happened because they got grabbed. But see, we even have made something like this. This is I've had a while. Oh yeah. So we have matching. Some of us have matching stuff like this in the house because I made it, right? Because we're fans. So let me just show you what we got here. So you just saw briefly the cards, and I want to show you what else we've got. So what I like about this is the dies and the stamps. This will die cut not only this right here, but it also die cuts the beautiful paper. So what you're going to see as I create some stuff here is literally I've gone and used these dies right here to cut out the different characters, which makes it so much easier. And actually I end up, this is like my second, third pack of paper that I've gone through. So actually, you can easily put your dies down right here. And that's what I love about it because it's so easy, right? So we've got Pooh Bear here. We've got Pooh Bear here, right? Let's see what else. We got another Pooh Bear here with Pooh Bear and Piglet. Right there. And you can keep on going and going and going. So practically every one of them have where you can sit there and die cut these out. And here goes Pooh Bear right there. So I saved this whole so you could see it whole. The rest I've already die cut all the stuff out. So this actually does a pot of honey. This actually does the honey dripping down the pot right there. We did that. That makes for an interesting getting the little details there. And I'm not sure that I'm sticking it all right in the back same spot, but it's okay. Main thing as long as I get it in here. But I think it's just to show you, right? People always wonder, how easy it is. Well, they've made this very easy. And it's just here in the United States, too, that this is coming out. So another thing, FYI. The other thing I wanted to show you is, make sure we get it mixed up with other stuff as well. So I want to put this aside. Let me show you this other one here. So here's another paper right here. And these right here, you have the stamp set. So you can actually stamp around images, but we can also die cut around them. So you got all the different sayings right here. And then we have the stamps, which we're going to use. And then here are the dies. So you've got different scenic things. You really don't have to do anything other than take the die, get the appropriate die. See which one we're going to grab here first. Let's go with this, see how this one looks. So yeah, you might have to decide which one. But they make it very easy, right? So if you want some extra there, you could do that. And see how these are big? So I would step it down. Like I said, you have different sizes here. So I'm just going to step it down just so you can see, right? It's just that easy to come in here and do what you want. And that's what I love about it, is I can sit up here and easily come in here, cut one of these out, and I've got a card already. All I got to do is pop that up, have some color behind it, and I've got a card. So that's what you're going to see as we make something in a minute. I think you're going to see one of these. I'm not sure, but see, you can just put these over just like that. Cut it out, pop it up on some dimensionals, and you have a card. Not a lot of effort to make something very beautiful and cute. Something very beautiful and cute. And let me show you some of the other papers too, so you just know. And then, in addition to that, we have this nice 3D embossing folder here that does the 100 Acre Woods. And you barely saw some of that when you saw that 3D project I had done. Let me show you the other papers just so you see. So those are some additional scenes right here again, right? That you can sit there and make a card out of easily. It's the same thing. Just flipping the paper over for you. And then here we go here. And looky there. Isn't that cool? You're going to see me create something like that in a minute. And then here's what we've got right here too. And then this is the back side of it. Let's see here. Back side of it right there too, that you can do a lot with as well too. So just a lot of cuteness going on here. So if you think it was easy to make cards, yes. Is it easy to do a craft along class? Yes, because it's like you gotta quit making cards because there's other things in life. So we're gonna make our first cards here. And I've already got them in an envelope, just like I do, and I've shown you before. I'm gonna sit there and make this one here. And I'm going to show you do it with a little bit different right now. So this is the one we're making here. And the thing is that this ribbon is not available right now. So I'm going to show you how it looks with a different ribbon. Right? We always think we have to have, if we don't have exactly what we thought we wanted or have, then we think we can't do it. That's not true. All right, now this is actually Hydrangea Hue, one of the new in colors. And that's what you're going to see on this paper here. And we're just going to put this down right here. Yes, right? You got two sides of the paper. And we're just going to put this down. This one's just very easy to make. Well, let's see if I got glue, right? If I don't, let me grab my other one. One feels more full than the other. And if that doesn't work, I have my tearing tape as well as my other stuff. Yep, let me move those sweet old friends out of the way just a second. Because we don't need this right now. I've got everything out I think I need for the moment. But just in case, it'll be handy. It's adhesive right at the moment. There we go. Right? Who doesn't like the silly old bear? Yes, so the story, there's always a story, right? So the picture of Piglet was, somebody said they weren't going to get their picture taken with characters. And Piglet came up behind them and surprised them and took a picture with Snap. So there you go. Sometimes we may say we don't like a character, we don't have a character preference, or we're not going to get involved, but things happen. Oh, you know what? Let me see. I did not see Eeyore in here, but there's Eeyore. Okay, see, this is actually die cut out. It's just very easy to do. And I just actually stacked a bunch of them and cut out a bunch of characters at the same time. I'm going to put this up on dimensionals, and I'm going to close this too, just so it doesn't... There. But see how easy this is? It wasn't a lot here. And it's easy to sit there and put the die. So if I'm the type of person, if I'm going to die cut one item on a sheet like that, and I know I can do multiple more, then I do more than one, right? Just to make it easier. Now what we're going to do with this one, since I do have a little bit of that ribbon, but I want to show you what it's going to look like with a different ribbon, right? So you have choices here. We can either do it with this ribbon here, which I think will look very nice. And then, you know, the other is there's actually a Hydrangea Hue ribbon that's coming out too. And it looks like this is just tied in a knot, like this. Right, just something a little different. Yes, so we do have different people in our family have different favorite characters, which is sort of funny. I didn't know they did, but all you gotta do is take a picture of one person with a character, and everybody goes, "Hey, that's my favorite character." So, yeah. So here we go. So I'm gonna do it like this here, and we can flip it up if we want to, whatever. See if I can get that. So this ribbon is a little bit thinner than this one over here, but it's okay, it'll work. We can do the same thing here. We can just put it up, let you do it out any way you want to. Might have to do the knot just a little bit lower, right? I'll just do it like that. And we'll put it down with a glue dot. Yeah, so this is just fun, right? A lot of memories. A lot of memories. And a lot of movies too. Alright, so let's get this one here. So we're just going to change the color out. And I'm just going to set this here a second, since it's just a little bit different than that there. And if you want to separate it out, then just separate it out. Put a glue dot underneath wherever you want it to go, right? Alright, so on the inside of this one is actually done like this here. We're going to do it just a little bit different because I can, right? So I'm going to go ahead. This is actually some of the new bling coming out. So that it's all the new end colors. I'm going to put this down right here. And I had this, right? So the nice thing about these, right, you can switch them around any way you want to. I'll put this down. At one point in time, I actually had one of the nurseries decorated this with all of our Pooh Bear and his favorite friends. Now on this one, right, we had this like here, this best kind of days are spent together. Instead of putting it up there like that, like I did this time I'm going to put it right here. And here's the stamp. And we're going to use the new end color, Hydrangea Hue. So you're going to get to see, oh, well, these are magnetic. And so just to show you what I just did. So they stick together, right, because they're magnetic. So when I just went to pull this up, actually just the lid came off here, right? I didn't realize that. So yeah, that was... Now, as I showed you I showed you this bling right here, but then we also have this matching bling with some butterflies that match as well too. All right, so these you can either just leave open like this here, or you can fold them over just like this. I just do it because I have a tendency to stick my hand in an ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp it right here in the center, right? And there you go. And then this is just easy to flip back over, right? It's going to take a little used to it because I'm not used to it being that easy. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it right here in the center. And that way you can write your sentiment around it. You know, if you wanted to write more sentiment and you've made your card like I did this here, then just add you in one other sheet of this right over here. Or I've even done it on the back side before too. Whatever space I need is what I allow myself. And this is the new color here. This is, see if I can read it. Barely Blush. So that's what you're seeing right there. Okay. And we just put that down, and then this is ready to go, and you sign it any way you want to. There you go. So here's one. All right. Okay. Let's go to the next one. So this next one's just going to be stepped up a little bit more. And let me pull you the one here. We're going to pull everything out of here. It sort of is. I'm going to make sure I didn't have any characters in here. Okay, this one we're going to actually stamp. Alright, but first get it together. And I'll show you what we're making. We're making this one right here. Right, we're just taking our colors, using our colors, and making it all happen. Now I'm going to stamp this in two colors on the back side so you can see what it looks like done in Cajun Craze, and then also what you can see what it looks like if it's done in Early Espresso. Right? Because colors, if we talked about this before, when you stamp a color on a color, right, it doesn't always come out what you think it's going to look like as if it was stamped on white. Okay? So this one here, we're just going to put these together right here on the front. So this one's a little bit different than the one I did earlier because that was from edge to edge. This one is not. This is how I normally do it for anytime I do a class or anything else, because I can get at least six people, you know, in something like this, versus the other would limit me to not even 6 people on a sheet of paper if I do from side to side, right? It's math. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper will get you 6. No, it won't get you 6. This 4 1/4 you can only go 3 times in the 12 inches, right? So you could only get 2 if you did 4 1/4. Now, if you want to, and it's yours, and you don't have anything else to make, go for it. But I usually try to show you how we would do it if we did a class or anything else, just to see if they would be able to stretch the paper a little bit more. But sometimes it is. It's very nice to sit there and use beautiful paper. Maybe next week I'll show you how we do that, so you can get the same effect without using all of it. Right? Okay, so this is how this one's going to look right here. And then let me show you how this is going to look right here with Pooh Bear. Let me get Pooh Bear. So like I said, these are easy to do. You can either die cut out the paper, or you can die cut out also the stamped image. As you can see, I really haven't done any stamped images that much yet, because I've been so busy die cutting the different characters out of the paper, because you can get so many characters, right? Can't show you everything, right, because we have the stamp or the craft along coming up, so you'll just have to stay tuned. All right, so I'm just going to flip this over so I have it on the back side. It is on the back side. Let me just show you what it looks like. Making sure I got my ink cleaner here. All right, and I'm trying to be sure to blink my eyes too. My eye doctor told me my eyes are dry. I need to blink my eyes more often, so there you go. All right, so this is what this looks like here. And this is with Cajun Craze. All right, and then we're going to do it with Early Espresso. Now, so we are actually stamping on this color right here. This is actually the new color, Golden Glow. So that's what you see right here. It's a different color shade and all than Crushed Curry. Crushed Curry is going to have a little bit more gold, yellow tone in it than this has. But they will, right, just so you know, some of these colors will stain your stamps. It's okay. And we're going to do the other color just so you can see the difference. I should show you the difference sometimes, right? Because we have choices. It just depends on what we want to do. All right, and that's what it looks like in Early Espresso. All right, so I'm going to do Early Espresso, but I want to show you just so that you know, be sure to look out for when you stamp color on color. It's not going to, oh, I got the wrong bear. It is okay. All right, can't say I don't copy bears exactly the same. Okay, so there we have that there. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this off too. Just trying to think of what my third one, let me see what my third card looks like a second. Let me see what I got on my third card. You can't see it yet, not the details, but I am looking so I can see what I did on the third one. Oh yeah, I'm here. I am here. Let's see what I did on the third one. Okay, all right. We're going to just go ahead with this one. So we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. And you're right, so this one here, the other one here, I had it on the right side. This one here, I'm going to put it on the left side since I've got Pooh Bear here with his honey pot. Right? Can never have enough honey. We always keep honey in our house too. However, we don't consume it like Pooh Bear. Not yet anyway. Alright, we're going to put this on here. And you know, this can just be a note card. Sometimes we think everything has to have a huge sentiment or everything else. It doesn't, right? I'm just going to stick this over here. Right, like that. And there you go. Alright, so we're just going to go get this put on the inside. And I think when I did that one, I don't think we had anything in there yet, right? Because sometimes I just have to know who I'm giving it to. So here was the first one. And let's see, yeah, I didn't do anything in there yet because I wasn't sure. Right, for me, lots of times, right, if you follow me, you'll know that many a times when I make things, I already have somebody in mind I want to give it to. And actually, I've got a bunch of new babies being born in the family. So I could use that also, especially if I got them a cute little outfit to match, right? All right, so there we go, just a simple card. You don't have to do all of them with sentiments, right? So this is here. This is the second card. All right, this is what the third card is going to look like. And here's where we're going to use that little piece of cardstock right there on that honey. And it's going to open up like this. And then it's going to open up like this. All right? So, and we're going to use a different color ribbon. All right, so let's do this. Let's get card number 3. So actually we're putting some, actually what you're seeing there, right, that's not all one sheet of cardstock. So what that really is, and you see I've got the pieces already there, is that we have, ooh, and there's going to lose a little piece of honey. Here's my little piece of honey right here. It's going to go in the little pot. Put it right there. Little pieces, you got to sort of keep up with them, right? All right, set that aside. So this has actually got a score line. It's got a score line here, and it's got a score line here. Just like that, okay? And I didn't bother me that the paper ruffled up a little bit because you know what? We're dealing with a little on the woodsy side. I'm okay with that. So what we're going to do here is we're actually just going to glue this down just like this so that when we shut it, it'll be able to shut. So that was one of the things when you score it, you got to make sure that you've got just enough room to make that happen, right? So all we're going to do is add glue back here. Yeah, let's get some glue in here. What's not to love about this, right? I hope they do more stuff like this. This is way too cool. In case you didn't know it, just a trivia fact, they did a long time ago, I don't know how long because it's definitely before me, they did a deal with Build-A-Bear, right? So I've got a Build-A-Bear in the background. And I think that's way too cool. So I thought this is way too cool they did this. All right, so I'm going to put this right up here. Got a lot of different Pooh Bear images, right? And you've got beautiful paper on both sides, right? So it's always a tough choice. So when you see that I've used up a lot of paper, well, I have, right? Now, so you can see here is I've done the same thing as the original was from edge to edge. This one I'm not doing edge to edge. I'm going to leave a little bit here. And the same thing down here. I don't think I did it edge to edge. Let's see if I did or didn't. We're fixing to find out. Right? I've slept since then. I have to think about what I did. All right, so this one I did. The outside I did do edge to edge because the size of it was going to be okay. This one, again, the same thing as the other, is if I did 4 1/4, I'd only be able to get 4 of these to a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, versus if I just trim it off a 1/4 inch, this is 4 by 5 1/4, I can now get 6 of these out of one 12 by 12 sheet of paper, right? So it just depends how many you're trying to get. Now when I do classes and all, right, I try to get at least 6 to a sheet. Unless they're going to cut it themselves and they get the paper, then they can do whatever they want to do, right? But from a perspective of me teaching a class and doing a class, that's generally what I do. So letting you in on some of my secrets. Secrets to success. And having fun. All right, we're just going to put this right here. All right, so there's our doors. And I like this. I haven't done this one in a while, but I do like this. It's just fun, right? All right, now on the inside, we're going to take these here, and these are going to be right here on the inside of these. And again, wasn't nearly too much worried as much as the front, right? Or what's on the inside here. So I'm just going to do this here. Now you can, if you want to scooch it over a little bit, you can. I didn't necessarily do it from corner to corner on this one on the inside because I'm going to have the characters. I've got other stuff going on here. That I could have easily just done it like I did on the front, the same way. But I figured I could just get this close to the edge without being on the edge because I'm trying to make sure I don't bulk up right here where this is, just so I can keep it and make sure that I can still fold it real easily, right? Okay, so on the inside here, we're going to put this here. And then from there, it's just adding characters. Adding friends, right? Adding friends. You can have a friend party and do this. You just close this up a second here. I'm going to flip it over. Just do it like that. Ah, like my glue's starting to glue up there. Okay, so we have this here. We have this here. So we're going to take and we're going to put some characters on the inside. So these were die cut from what I just showed you a minute ago. I'm just going to poke those out, I think, with my fingernail, but I'm looking for my pokey tool. Yeah, we got a spatula on one end and a pokey tool on the other. I have pokey tools too, but I'm just not seeing it offhand. There we go. Alright, that one didn't come out quite as like I liked it. So that's okay then. I'll just put it in here. I'll mess with it later. Okay, so I'm just going to put this down right here. Put it down with glue. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure what the front and the back is, right? So just put it down here. And I just centered it. Now, actually, Tigger is a favorite of more than one person in this family. So we have to, it's always sort of funny. The oldest says, well, I'm older and I knew Tigger first. It's sort of funny to listen go on and on. All right, so here's Tigger. And again, this was cut out with the dies, straight out of paper, as you can see. And putting this one here. I'm going to make sure it goes over just a little bit so his tail doesn't get like bent or anything there. And then here we have Piglet with the wish flower. So my granddaughter, youngest granddaughter, calls this the wish flower, which it is, right? We all make wishes off of it. I just never thought of calling it the wish flower, but I think it's a very good name, right? Okay, now from here we just have stamping to do. Oh, let's not forget the honey pot. Where's my little, oh, here it is. Say, where is that little pot of honey? Okay, so this little piece right here is going to go right across the top of this. See how that makes it look so cute? And actually on this, I'm just going to put the glue on top of the pot. Yeah, you didn't see it, but I did lick my finger. Okay. It just made it easier to pick it up. I could have used my tool, but my fingers are right here handy. Alright, I'm just going to put it right here, and we're just going to slide it to fit, however you want it to fit. But see how nicely that does? There you go. And this is actually going to go in the front. I'll give that a moment to dry. We're going to go ahead and stamp this here. So this one here, I put sometimes when you go looking for happiness, happiness finds you. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this with the Early Espresso since I did the character on the other one. I'll just do this here. And then we have, well, we're going to stamp on the inside. I think I did that one a different color. Which time? Yep. Just going to stamp it here. Right, so I mean, I didn't even add any bling. We could add bling, but you know, it's very cute the way it is as well too, right? So I'm going to add this with dimensionals. So you can see it didn't really take us that long. Cut my fingernails. I didn't take us that long, right? Because the fact is I could die cut items, especially when you already know what you want to do, right? So it doesn't take that long at all. And when we do retreat, right, whether it's a retreat, whether it's a class, whether it's a stamp camp, or now a craft along, right? Different things, we do different things for it. So here we go. And we just put this right here. And let's see what I put on the inside there. I did. Best kind of days. All right. So I'm going to set this aside. We're going to use Hydrangea Hue again. And again. This is, okay, yeah, here we go. The best kinds of days. Swapping out. Back to this one again. It's just a nice sentiment, right? I have a friend coming over today, and I tell you, the best times of days are when we have time together and we can goof off and do what we want to do, whether it's creating, trying out new teas, trying out a new Mexican restaurant, doesn't matter, right? All right, so we have this here and this here. All we're missing now is the ribbon. So the first one, I used the ribbon that's out right now. See this right here? So we're going to use this one instead, and I'm going to show you what I do. I'm trying to think how much I want to use, because I'm going to make a bow on front, right? So if you're never sure, put that right there. Just at least wrap it around once is what I do. Right now you're going to need at least that, and then I need allow myself some ribbon so I can make a bow, right? So I'm going to do it right about here, because I figure it takes me usually about 8 to 10 inches to make a bow. Most probably more 10 when I'm doing a live. 8 when I'm not doing a live. The other thing I did with this is I just folded in half, like this right here. Okay, so if somebody wants to, if you want it, so you can do this one of two ways. Either you can design this so a person can slide it off, or you can design it so that, we got to put our honey on here too, or you can design it so that it stays on. It's going to be there, but it stays on. So let's do it that way just so I can show you. So what I did is I just come back here where I know I'm going to want it, and I'm just going to use a little strip of tearing tape just to hold the back down here on the back. Number one, if I'm busy putting this together, it helps me to keep the ribbon in one spot instead of it sliding around on me. The other is if somebody is going to untie it, then you don't have to worry about falling to the ground or whatever, because it'll still be there. You know, if they really want if somebody, if you put this on here and somebody wants the ribbon, and they want to use the ribbon, which I do have people that do that. You know them, you have some too. It might even be you. See, I just do it like that. You don't see the tearing tape, and it holds really well. So if you are that person, and the other thing helps if you use your bone. If you are that kind of person, right, that you want that tape, then just gently pull it off. It's not going to tear the ribbon up. The adhesive's going to stay on the card, and you can still use the ribbon, or maybe you're a person that wants to reuse the ribbon. I don't know. But whatever. You have options. And I'm all about like having options. So I just start off with a leftover right. Not making a square knot. I'm going to make a bow, but still it's how I always start off. And then I've been taking it, wrapping around like this, because it just is easier to make the kind of bow that you're looking for. And I can always tweak it from there. Okay, see how it's going to go like this here. You can mess with it and everything else. I just want to get a nice little bow right here. And you can see this looks just as nice and very pretty. It reminds me of all the baby colors and everything else. And I'm just going to put this down here with a dimensional. Okay. And then we've got 3 cards. So again, see how we put a little piece of cardstock there? It's one of those things like, hey, if I'm running everything else through, it's not that big of a deal to do that as well too. I'm going to trim my ribbon off so both sides are the same, about the same. All right, so there you go. How you like that? So again, let's look what we made here. We have 3 cards. I want to show you the difference. So I didn't tie this bow back, but you can see we changed out the ribbon, right? And it goes just as nice. This one here, the changes between this one and this one. This was from edge to edge, whereas this one I left right. I used 4 by 5 1/4 versus this one is using 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, right? So I switched that, and I switched the bear around. And last but not least is here's what the original one was, like this. I swapped out the ribbon because this is what we have. We also have Hydrangea Hue, which is a solid color, so I could easily have done that too. And the other thing I switched around just a little bit is this one was up here, and I moved this one down here. Right? So it's just lots of things that you can do. And we just did it all in 30 minutes. How about that? So it's just, you know, it's so exciting when you're doing something that you really like. This sort of reminds me of when I did the peaches, right? I could sit down and easily make a lot of cards, and they make it so easy to do that. So there's no reason why you can't go out there, create, share, and give. So this is not available unless you're a demonstrator, or if you want to become a demonstrator, today would be the day, and you get this in your pre-order. If not, you get to wait until May 5th, where it's open to the public and the catalogs go live. Also, let me find that sheet I was going to show you here. So this is actually an online exclusive. So it's not in the catalog. So actually, when we were on stage out in Long Beach, didn't even know about this. One of my team members brought it to my attention. They saw it right off the bat when the new catalogs came out and all for us to look at online. So we get, as demonstrators, we get to look at things. We get what we call pre-order, right? So before it launches, we usually have about 30 to 40 days ahead of time that we can go and order stuff and start making samples to be able to show you and so forth and all. So that's what makes it crazy fun, right? So I hope you enjoy this. So it's all about going out there, create, share, and give. So be sure to do that. There's no reason why you can't. I try to devote some of my Sunday time where I work on notes and stuff to send out to people, and I did that this weekend to get them out in the mail on Monday, right? And I also thank you for supporting us not only here, but on YouTube and Instagram. And with that, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, you might want to, because soon we'll be sending out information about the craft along with this silly old bear suite. Be blessed. Look forward to seeing you next week when we create something else. Bye.